In a world of mass surveillance, this tiny device can keep you safe. It's even trusted by ethical hackers like Ryan Montgomery. In recent videos, I've been trying to help you get the tools to not only detect, but defend yourself against the increased surveillance that's going on all over the place. And that's where this little device comes in. This is RayHunter.
Yeah, so this is just a hotspot.
Okay.
I modified this hotspot with a custom firmware called RayHunter, which I know you're gonna want one of these.
So this thing basically detects if there's anything listening or gathering information on you within some type of a radius.
Yeah, and you don't have to stare at it.
This little tiny device, which used to be a Wi-Fi hotspot, actually now detects stingrays. If your mass surveillance vocabulary is out of date, a stingray is typically a device that's used by government agencies to intercept cell phone data before it gets to the cell phone towers. Basically, it's a man-in-the-middle attack against all of the data that you're sending with your cell phone. And for obvious reasons, I don't want that, so this little device can keep you safe. So today, I'm going to walk you through the entire process of how to make your very own RayHunter, because with a little know-how, these things are really easy to make, and they're like 25 bucks still. Alright, so that's enough introduction. This is RayHunter. So actually, let's start at the beginning, and let's go ahead and buy one of these, because it's a Verizon Orbic. They're super easy to get, so let's hop on down to the desktop. Alright, so here we are down at the desktop. Let's fire up our browser and go to the electronicsbay.com. So from there, we're just going ahead and search for Verizon Orbic, O-R-B-B-I-C. Wow, that was easy. And let's see what comes up here. So we have a whole bunch of these out here. And you'll notice if you have a new RayHunter with SIM, it's going to cost a fortune. They want $100 for these because it takes 5 minutes to make it, and they just want to take advantage of you. Don't get scammed. Get smart. Learn how to make your own stuff. So let's scroll down and we can see, all right, cool. Yeah, right here. So we've got the Orbic Speed. This will work just fine for it. LTE model, Wi-Fi hotspot modem. 25 bucks, free shipping. Awesome. $14.99. So this is the unit only, so it doesn't have a battery. You're probably going to want the battery, so throwing it out there. But yeah, you can see if you scroll down, you can find a ton of these things. They're not hard to get. So super simple, couldn't be easier. So from here, we're going to fast forward in time until when you actually receive your little device. And let's hop on down to the GitHub and we can start downloading some files. So this is the GitHub for RayHunter. It's by EEF.org, link down in the description. And let's scroll down to releases right about here. And this is where we're going to download it. So one thing that we ran into is that the Windows installer is a little buggy. So we're going to do it in Linux, and I'm going to show you how. It's not that hard. So what you can do is make a bootable Linux drive. So right here, this is Kali. You can use any Linux distro you want to, but you can make a bootable USB for Linux. Super easy. Just kali.org. They've got it written down. Or you can just go ahead and Google Linux bootable USB. There's a ton of them. Ubuntu works really well as well. Super useful to have. So go ahead and do that. Today, we're going to actually be using VMware because that's what I have installed. So let's hop on back down to the main desktop and load up VMware. Go ahead and fire up our Kali machine.
2 very boring minutes later.
And what we're going to do right now is we're actually going to turn this device on. If we press the top button here, it's going to be hard to see, but it says 2.4 info. Press the button there, and that's going to show you the password and everything for that. I'm going to write this password down because it's very important. I'm going to need this in a second. Fire up Notepad. I'm going to write it down, 610E1D36. Perfect, because I don't want to have to keep looking at this thing. So minimize that. So now we're just going to open up the browser, and we're going to go to the RayHunter GitHub. So I'm going to do RayHunter GitHub. We can search for it. Whoops, I forgot to re-enable my Ethernet. No problem. So RayHunter, there we go. Oh, it's in bright mode. I hate that. And we're going to scroll down to our releases. We're going to pop that open into, here we go, releases are right here, into a new tab. And then we're going to scroll down to the installation guide, which is right here, and load that up. We're going to be installing from a release. Really, I'm just doing this to get a single command out of here, which makes life so much easier, which is this Orbic installer. Perfect. So releases are over here. We'll scroll down. So we're going to download Linux 64 because it's a 64 based operating system, 64-bit operating system, whatever. And open the file, and you can do this all command line if you're that kind of person. I actually like GUIs, so we're gonna do it kind of the easy way. Whoops, we opened it in Visual Studio Code. That's not what we wanted to do. Oh, it's because I downloaded this SHA file because I'm stupid. That's what happens. Okay, here we go. Download the zip file because you're not an idiot like me. It's fine. There we go. And then we'll open that, drag and drop that right onto the desktop. Perfect. We're going to open this guy up here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and take our device and plug it into a USB cable that's plugged into our computer. It's USB-C, the only good USB. And then we'll see it pop up this thing right here. So if you're running a live operating system, obviously this won't pop up. What's going on is I'm running in a virtual machine. I'm gonna have to tell it to connect my soon-to-be RayHunter device into my Kali Linux machine. Easy. So now that's hooked up, and one of the things we want to do is test that this thing's working. So there is a URL right here. Cool, it's the Orbic URL. We're gonna control click that as well, and let's see if we can connect to it. Nope. This is actually why my internet was disabled, and I just had to fix that because we wanted to connect to our wired connection here. And I believe now we can restart this. Here we go, yeah. Our browser's giving a warning, but that's okay, I don't care. And go to accept and continue. Here we go, so now we know everything's working. This is the actual mobile hotspot. So the username is admin if you're curious. And then the password was the password that we wrote down earlier, which we'll copy and paste into here. And then we can log in. Perfect. So now we know that the hotspot itself is working and it's connected to our Linux machine. That's very, very important. Next thing. So now all we really got to do, since we've already unzipped the file, I'm going to scroll down, and this is the installation little script we're going to write, or command, not script. So we're going to copy that, and we're going to change my password to the password. No big surprise there. I like how I'm using a Windows notepad and then VMware. Don't worry, I'm a professional. It's cool. So then we'll go back into the RayHunter folder that we decompressed a second ago. Right click, and we can actually go to open terminal here. Makes life just a little bit easier because we want to be in the desktop /RayHunter. You don't have to do it again. If you know how to navigate command line stuff, you can just do it the old fashioned way, but this is where we're doing it. And we're just going to paste that command that we copied, which is Control-Shift-V. And with any luck, we'll press enter and this will run. Boom. Logging in and starting Telnet. Perfect. So this is exactly what we want. This is why we did it in Linux. It's just so easy when we do it in Linux. I tried for a while in Windows and it was running into issues. I was going to do it in WSL or Windows Service Linux layer. Windows Subservice for Linux. God, that was hard to say. All right. We're going to connect this again to the virtual machine because it popped up. It just restarted the device. Now with any luck, we can actually go ahead and, how do I click this? Control click. There we go. And now we have the RayHunter interface and it's running right now. So you can see we have 0 warnings, which means that I haven't found any Stingray devices, which I have only had this in my house. And if I found a Stingray, I would be very, very concerned. But you can see exactly what's going on. It's recording. And what will happen is if you do run into one of these devices or it suspects that, it will flag a warning and then you can download the PCAP files for it. Unfortunately, I haven't found a Stingray because I would really love to crack open one of those PCAP files. If anybody has one of these and they have a Stingray PCAP file, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to take a look at that PCAP. All right, so let's hop back out of the desktop and I'll show you a little bit about what the device itself looks like. But not before this quick segue to today's sponsor. PCBWay. PCBWay is your one-stop shop for all things PCB design, manufacture, 3D printing, CNC, sheet metal fabrication, and so much more. And did you know that from November 28th all the way through December 31st, they're running a huge Christmas sale? You can save up to 50% off. They've got free upgrades. There's so many things on sale, I can't even list them all right here. And don't forget to look up the coupons. They've got up to $435 in free coupons you can get right now. So head on down to PCBWay.com and check out the 2025 Christmas sale. As always, thank you so much PCBWay for your continued support. You guys are absolutely awesome. All right, let's get back at it. All right, so this is the RayHunter. It's very, very simple. It looks exactly like it did before we flashed it, but on top there is a green line. I swear it's green, it's hard to see. But that green line means that you're safe right now. If that line ever turns red, that means that your cell phone data may very well be recorded by a Stingray. Whoops. Now you'll also notice that I have no service here because I get terrible Verizon service where I'm from, but this actually still does function as a Wi-Fi hotspot, which is pretty cool. Now my buddy AWOC from AWOC Dynamics is actually the one who sent me this, and he sent me a bunch of other stuff, including, I don't think I'm supposed to show this, but check this out. This may or may not be a brand new device he's got cooking up, and if we flip it over to the back here, we'll see it says prototype. This thing is really, really cool, and it also says C5, which, if you know, you know. He also sent me this. This is an absolute maniac of a board. It is one of the coolest things I've ever seen, and I love this uranium glass kind of yellow acrylic or whatever it is. It's so freaking cool. I love this. So if you want to see more about this, leave me a comment down below and throw a like so I know you want to see it. Are there any other devices like the RayHunter you'd like to see me cover? Because I absolutely love making devices like this and showing you guys how to do it as well. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you next time.